Hey, this is Joe from 718 Cyclery and Outdoors here in Brooklyn, New York, and today we're going to talk about the 10 Essentials. The 10 Essentials are a system that were developed in the 1930s by mountaineering groups out in the Pacific Northwest as a way to organize and manage gear that you'd bring on a trip. What we've done is taken those mountaineering categories and converted them into more of the kind of things you would take on a bike camping trip. So right now we're talking about number 6 on the 10 Essentials list, and that's the fire kit. So what I'm going to do is talk to you about the fire kit that I use. I use 2 different versions, warm weather and cold weather, but we'll talk about 3 different topics. First is the physical kit and what does this stuff go into. The second are the components of the kit that actually create a flame. And the third are the components of the kit that actually act as tinder or things that remain lit long enough to light other things. So here we go. Alright, first things first with the fire kit. This is the actual pack that I use to bring our kit up to camp. It's a waterproof bag, and I generally pack this within a dry bag within the bags that are on my bike, usually in the rear. But what this allows me to do is to keep the things dry that need to stay dry. You know, obviously this material might be needed to start a fire under duress, in the snow, in the cold, in the rain. So having wet things to start a fire just defeats the purpose. In the winter, this kit gets a little bigger just because of the eventualities of what we might need. During summer months, I'll certainly take some of these things out because when it's 85 degrees overnight, you don't really need to start a fire. It's kind of a nice to have type of thing. So I'll reduce this a little bit in the summer months. All right, so now let's talk about the stuff that's inside the pack. Okay, so let's talk about what's in my fire kit. Usually what I like to do is organize things into 2 categories. The first is what kind of causes a flame or what creates a flame. And the second is what causes a flame to kind of stay lit. And that's kind of more of a tinder situation. So here's the first category here. These are things that cause a flame. There's some basic things here. There's a lighter and there's matches. I usually like to say I like 2 ways to start a fire, but usually I bring 4 or 5. Third way, this is waterproof matches. Out of focus there, but there you go, some waterproof matches. Fourth, this is kind of a strike flint, which is pretty cool, and I always bring that just because it's a mechanical device. And then the fifth is, this is pretty cool here. This is a USB lighter. Causes a spark there. And again, yeah, that might be cheating, but you know what? When it's cold and snowy and raining, and after we've exhausted the basic traditional methods for starting a fire, we'll jump right into any of these tools. So again, these are the things that cause a flame. Okay, and the second category of the things that I have in my fire kit are things that keep a flame going, things like tinder. So I like to bring a nice variety of things to camp. So this wheel gets a lot of attention when I do this, but this is kind of fun. So what I'll do here is I'll have a combination of cotton balls soaked in Vaseline. For here, dryer lint. This is from Zippo here. This is a Zippo tinder. I have a couple of those. And then I have a more traditional kind of solid fire starter that's kind of crumbled up into pieces. It looks like a hamburger there. So these are just kind of options and things I like to use. In addition, the thing I'll probably use before I use any of these are these guys here, the Baddest Bee fire fuses. And these are little fuses that are infused with beeswax. You'll just rip a bunch of these, rip a bunch off, kind of get it nice and, pull the threads out, get the fibers out, and it'll catch a spark really nice. So these are my really go-to. If we really have to cheat and if we're having a real problem, we bring out the bad boy, which is the fire ribbon. You can essentially start fire on ice with this stuff. Sure, it's cheating, but again, when you need a fire, it's kind of there. So pretty interesting stuff. It comes in a tube like this, and again, it comes out as a gel, almost like a paste, and you can start anything on fire. And then in addition, this always gets a lot of snickers at fires, but I'll tell you, the pocket bellows is the way to go, which is basically just, it extends all the way out, and it allows you to really put some really concentrated oxygen on a fire in a place where you need it to kind of go. So this gets whipped out, pocket bellows, people kind of look and laugh, but once they see the results, it's amazing. But These two, again, are sold by the same company. So that's kind of what I bring on every trip in the cold weather. In the warmer weather, when fire isn't a huge issue, I probably won't bring the fire ribbon, and I probably won't bring this in its natural form. I'll just have a few of these as I bring, just to kind of reduce some weight. So again, in the 10 essentials, this is what I call number 6. This is my fire kit. Many thanks for watching. And if you could subscribe and like and do all the things you do when you watch a YouTube video, it would be much appreciated. But again, many, many thanks for watching.